Hello everybody, welcome back to the Contest Realm podcast. This is episode 37 entitled, When Will It All Go Right? And if you don't know already, we're available on SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes, links are in the description. And for a very, very limited time only, as in like one podcast video, I can now be seen. I decided, as I said in the last edition, I thought, well, you know, for YouTube, because some people do ask about this and I kind of think, okay, I'll just do it. Hi, you've got me flailing my arms around for some reason. This is part of it. If you're listening on Spotify, SoundCloud and iTunes, you can just imagine for whatever you will. But yes, in any case, I better introduce my co-host. It is Dan of Frontline MCOC. If you don't know, go to www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog. Keeps you updated with everything that is good, sweet, informative, guidey, and so much more. So go along and check out the site. Dan, hey mate, good to see you.
Hey Rich, good to talk to you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Must make sure to flail my arms around as much as possible to kind of show.
Yes, big reactions for all the folks on the YouTube.
Yeah, I got to start with something sad though. Something very sad.
Oh,
we would have probably been recording a live edition of the Contest Round podcast today. We either would be going like, oh, we've met in New. Maybe we'd got an Airbnb, which would be called like I don't know. It would be called the Inform Hub, where we'd kind of get a group of us together. We'd be in an Airbnb, and we'd just be kind of like every night recording content, bashing out, playing a game. But it's not to be.
Yeah, it's sad that we're missing all those good times at NYCC this year, and we don't get to see everyone because it's the one time a year that we have, you know, not everyone in the community in the same place, but as many people as possible. And I was really looking forward to this year. It felt like at the beginning of the year, felt like it was going to be the best Comic-Con ever. So, you know, it's really unfortunate. It's the story of 2020, though. It's get used to the disappointment, because that's what it's all about this year. So we're hopefully we will turn the page on this this pandemic and be back in 2021.
For sure, we got to be.
Fingers crossed.
We want to get that, because we had a lot of plans of things like we were going to do like a podcast, not podcast off, but kind of like, I don't know, podcast wars, podcast rivals, and like get like a big kind of grouping of podcasts into one place, and maybe just like, I don't know, games, have a little bit of a to do about something, just something that it would just be quite cool. But at the same time, it was gonna be a good opportunity for me and Dan to go, right, we've been at Comic-Con for the day, we then get back, we record what we need to record, video wise, information wise. Dan would work on the site, I would bash out a video, and then we probably come together in the evening for a on the night, maybe live shoot the breeze podcast about what we've just seen in that day. So,
yeah, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, because then we'd set up the mics. You know, we'd have the little podcast area with the mics, and then, you know, get some beers in the fridge, and then just like crack open beers, and then just like talk about what we've seen for the day, and then we can then get people in on the chat stuff. Maybe record a live segment from the channels. I don't know, but it's like all these ideas that at least we can say we can try them next year.
That's the hope. We'll try them. Hopefully 2021 will be everything we are hoping that it will be.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the show. So one of the first things on topic is the situation around the side event. So the way that everything went down with the side quest was just so, for another month, disappointing.
Yeah, it was a rough launch. I think the hardest thing with these is when they launch early by accident and there's something broke, is that the people that really need to be aware of that are asleep. Yes. Because they're not expecting it to happen. So it's not like you think about your normal workday. It's like, okay, like I'm going to have this go live in the middle of my workday so I can double check it. And then it accidentally goes live like 12 hours earlier while you're asleep. that's kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, I think everybody was super on edge because of what happened last month with the bans. That then it became this. Am I safe? I did it twice. I did it 3 times. I did it 4 times. Am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? Like it kind of became that that kind of thing. And as of right now, I've heard of nobody being banned.
No, there was somebody
for nothing.
Yeah, there was some people that put out stuff like I've just got at the moment this thing where somebody was saying an alliance mate got banned for 720 hours, but it doesn't match up to the way that they were banning last time when it was the Mutant Treasure Island bans were issued for 169 hours or 100 and something hours. It just seems too extensive to be this. And Kabam have done a big week with something we'll get into about tackling some people that may be exploiting other areas, but ones that do deserve bans and do deserve punishments and stuff. But
if that 700-hour ban is legit, it wasn't for a couple extra runs through the Limbo quest.
For sure.
That just did not happen.
Yeah. I mean, the weird thing about the moment with Limbo quest is that well, it's not a weird thing. It's everything now is working as it was intended to, but I don't know
as intended. The goal every day, working as intended, please.
Especially when it's arena. We'll get into that in a minute.
The week for working as intended.
Oh yeah, but with this situation, I don't know if people have been able to keep their shards. Or maybe Kabam for like gone. Well, to be honest, they've been very silent on it. They've not said, "Oh, we are. Or we're not going to punish on this." I mean, I'll take the story. I'm going to take the story back a bit, backtrack a little bit before I kind of jump to where we're at now. But when it was all happening, this is the problem when I was just recording. Actually, just finished editing Marvel Contest Champions News for Wednesday, and I was like, look, I got to get this out. It's about 12 midday UK time, and I was like, I need to get my time slot. If anybody doesn't know, just going to put everybody in perspective with YouTube. Usually, you have a time slot which you know that videos are going to either number 1 perform or number 2 be just basically be seen, and YouTube kind of push them well into the algorithm. My time slots are lower in the day, so they're kind of midday UK time or kind of later afternoon Asian time, early morning US time, and I have to be very specific on it, otherwise I can't pay my bills. Well, I can't pay my bills at the moment due to YouTube, and that's another story for another day. But the fact is, everyone was just flooding my inbox going, have you seen this? What's going to, what I get banned? And it's like, man, I'm trying to get this. As soon as I get this out, I will deal with it. And I've literally got my Discord messages, my DMs. I haven't even checked my line messages, and I suspect they all going to be popping off with people going, "Oh, what's going on with this?" And it's like, and it's like I'm scrambling around for answers. Like Dan's just waking up, like, what's going on here? And
you turn on that phone on Wednesday morning, you're just like, oh boy,
yeah,
like that's a lot of things.
Yeah. I
always check Twitter first, and I think it's like 20 plus on the notification, where it's just like, if it's over 20, it says 20 plus. If I see it's 20 plus, I'm like, all right, something happened.
Oh god, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we are. This is the problem. I put out when I put out a video, kind of talking about it, kind of gathering together information that I know, is that I shouldn't have to make executive decisions for the community based on what Kabam may or may not have done. It's up to somebody to be there. Kabam Porthos was the first person to respond on the forums and alert the team thereafter, either waking up Mike early or other representatives to respond. But it just goes to show that there needs to be somebody to make executive decisions for stuff. And say, look, just to let you know, guys, do not go into mutant. Don't go into this because it may lead to this.
Right.
Rather than having a lot of people in literal limbo between them making a mistake for their account and them being like, oh, this is grindable, this is fine. So I don't know where Kabam go from here with informing people, because I don't know. Do you feel they need better communication in that front?
Yeah, I think it's always hard when something happens in the middle of the night or on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're gonna get the communication gaps, because same thing. You wake up and people are like, "What do I do?" And it's like, "Well, dude, it's 3 a.m. in Vancouver. Like, we're not gonna get an answer.
Yeah.
If you want an answer right this second, there is no answer forthcoming." And I think it's tough because at some point, right, like as a company, they need, at a certain level of escalation, you have to get to one decision maker, right? And that decision maker can't be, you can't expect that decision maker to be on call 24/7.
That's true. Yeah.
So I kind of think of it like with my own job. It's like, all right, like sometimes you're just going to have to get to something tomorrow, even though it's not in the best of places right this second. Like you need to get 8 people in the room and come to a consensus and move forward, and that takes time, but that doesn't jive with how we play the game, which is this 24/7 juggernaut that has to keep rolling.
Yeah.
Right? And there's always some time zone that is going to be in crunch time.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's their peak time where you say like, "Hey, I've only got an hour a day to do this, and this is my window."
Yeah, that's
so
true.
This is important to me right now. It may not be important to everyone else, but this is where it lands in my day, and I have to either get this or skip this, and I just need to know. So I understand where the players are coming from, certainly, but it's one of those things where it's just it's hard to be active in every time zone and then have your company in one place and people on that time schedule and be able to deal with everything like instantaneously. It's just, unfortunately, it's just not super reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's going to be does that have decision making? The difficulty is like where other games lie with how and developers are with their decision making. I don't know where say. Well, it depends on size and scope. Like you could say, like, well, what do NetEase do with games that they have that are not just Marvel related, but other games as a mobile developer? Yeah. The same thing with like, I'm just thinking loads here. You know, you could say Epic Games do Fortnite. You could say Rockstar with GTA. But I think because they've got different, it depends which. You know, there's a lot to it. I don't really know much about the developer sector as to like, oh yes, this company deals it in this manner when it comes to out of hours, or do they have like right. You know, people that work the night shift or work in Eastern countries or Western countries, and they have a thing with that. I don't know, but this thing, it's a Kabam job to deal with situations like this or figure out how they deal with it in the future to kind of attack it early. Rather than right. worrying about it late, especially with like the extent of people's concerns between, look, am I getting my account banned? And I think still at the moment, and to kind of round this off, is the volume of shards that players have got. Some people are claiming they've got a high volume of shards, and today was the day, or late yesterday was when they were able to start spending them, and. Right. This is the point of saying like, well, there's a lot of people that had a lot more shards than most other people. So where does the element of fairness that Kabam was kind of talking to, or keeping the game fair, come in, and will they likely do anything with it? To be honest, I don't think they will. I've not seen any response from Kabam on the matter. Yeah,
I haven't either. So I don't know what's going on there, and I'm a little bit surprised that they activated the ability to purchase the crystal before making any announcement as to what was going to happen to all those shards. Because until you could actually spend the shards, it was kind of a no harm, no foul situation. Like, okay, like maybe it was a mistake. You weren't supposed to get those shards, but it wasn't like last month where you could have awakened multiple champs and sigged them up. It would have been a lot harder to unravel. This was just a currency that you couldn't spend at the time, so I was a little surprised by that. I would say, I mean, maybe it's unrealistic to expect them to be watching the forums 24/7 and having all this support active, but we know when these problems are going to occur, and they're between the new version going live and the event quest going live. So usually sometime on Monday, you see in the Android and the iOS store the update, and then Wednesday 1 p.m. my time, I think about 6 p.m. your time, the actual event goes live. So like we know there's about a 48-hour window where stuff starts to break every time there's a new update. So it's like I kind of feel like that's the time to pull a couple all-nighters.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it all month long, but maybe just like really bear down with the staffing when you've got the new patch going live until you've actually got the event successfully launched.
That's true. Oh, well, it's been one of these weeks where there's just like there's another time
thing. Yeah, there was a lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
I don't know because I think it was either going to be Wednesday or by today that the Act 6 changes would have gone in. I haven't checked as of yet, but that was where the update was. It would be out with the new event, but I think everyone's going to be busy with the new event to check the Act 6 changes. Have you heard anything or seen anything?
I haven't seen anything, no. That was another thing. I thought that was going to be live as soon as 28.2 was live.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, and I don't know, at least from my standpoint, it's kind of just like, where are they? I don't know, but there's also been so many other problems that seem a little bit more pressing than just I know we've been waiting for this Act 6 update, but when you've got the broken side quest and then you move on to the other stuff that was going on with Arena, like those just seemed a lot more on fire, in need of immediate attention than just like, where's the Act 6 update? I'm actually going to log in and check right now.
I'm now in. And good news, it has been changed. Thank God.
Oh, it's been changed.
Yeah.
Yay.
I am now looking at a more dealable Mr. Sinister with Prey of Week instead of the EMP modification. So
excellent.
That is really good news. Which I
guess we better get back to Act 6, Rich.
Yeah, I think as soon as I've done Cavalier difficulty, I'm going to do uncollected 100%. I'm going to 100% Cavalier, and then I'm going to do a lot of Act 6, and then try and see if I can push towards the end of the month of being Thronebreaker. Same
here, man. Same here.
Especially because the crystals actually look pretty. The daily crystals look quite nice on it.
They put a little bit of spice in that. A little bit of spice, not just salt and pepper. Those crystals have the good stuff.
Yeah, I think somebody got like 2 tier 5 basics and another person 10,000 6-star shards.
Oh, that is delightful.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I need sooner rather than later.
I know.
Okay, thinking about champions now.
Champions, yes.
Talking even, not thinking, talking. Red Goblin. Now,
yes.
Did you get a chance to play him?
I did. I actually made some time to test out Red Goblin.
Nice.
So, finally getting back into the CCP beta and giving the champions a little bit of attention before they go live in the game. So, I did like Red Goblin. And I would be okay with pulling him. I'm not sure where to use him, and I think that's his biggest drawback.
That it's for me. I find it as a great exhibition type champion for the point of he cannot do a lot of debuff damage. He can do it and do a lot of buffed up damage, and he can persist very, very well. It's just I can't think because I was like, okay, well, Act 6.2, Act 6.3, and Act 6.4 all very specific in nature. From just a grind perspective, but noding, double noding, triple noding does eliminate his worth in certain areas. Not to say he's completely worthless, but what I'm saying is like, yes, I'd love to use him against Diss Track in 6.4.4, but at the same time, I do have an issue with the Diss Track path. The issue is that I think it's like an energy type interaction. So you either get slapped by Incinerate or you get slapped by Cold Snap. So it's like, well, he's Incinerate immune, but he's not Cold Snap immune. So it's like, and then you're like specifically thinking as well, like, well, actually he's quite good at 6.3 because of this. But then it's like, again, specific nature to use, which is the problem.
Right. So what's interesting about Red Goblin in his kit is he does have that spider evade counter
Yeah.
mechanic that's similar to Venom, which is great, right? Because that gives you an alternative if you haven't pulled
Yeah.
Venom. I mean, most veteran players have a Venom, but let's say you're a newer player and you get Red Goblin and you don't have Venom. Well, okay, that's great. You've got a spider evade counter. That's a pretty useful piece of utility. But the real problem is Red Goblin really benefits from having Venom on the team for
Yeah.
synergies. So, like, they've got an overlap of utility, but you have to have both of them. And Red Goblin is a ramp up champion, a multi-fight ramp up champion, and Venom's not. So a lot of times, I don't know about you, Rich. A lot of times, I'm putting my team together. It's like, okay, like I scout the path. All right, I'm going to use this champion. Say I'm going to use Sunspot as my main damage dealer because he's quick.
Yeah.
And then I look down the path. Like, okay, there's a Morning Star, so I got to bring someone bleed immune. All right, I'm going to cover that base. And oh, there's a Spider-Man. I'm going to bring Venom. But I'm just going to use Venom for that one fight for that one Spider-Man, right? Like, I don't need a multi-ramp up fight Red Goblin if I'm only going to use him once on the lane, right? Like, I would just use Venom, who's going to be out of the box, kicking that Spider-Man's butt, and then can go back on the bench.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, and this is where like the worth is. Like, I think in this particular scenario, this champion would excel for the likes of Variant 5 with
like he's a symbiote that helps.
Yeah. So it kind of then, if you're like struggling for an option for Variant 5, and that's the downside. It's like the worst case scenarios for me. Kind of like, I have 100% Variant 5. I did it prior to getting a lot of the Mystic champions I wanted to, and because most of them spent a lot of time. I think I've said this before. I have about 6 Mystic champions that are assigned to either be offense and defense for Alliance Wars. So it kind of then it really messes around my availability. So I ended up doing a lot of like a mishmash. And whenever I had available champions, I'd use them. Like if I had I don't know, Doom available, I'd use Doom for the day that I had, or try and rush for it on a weekend where there are times when there's no Alliance Wars and I wasn't excessively doing YouTube content and researching and stuff like that. So that's the thing of finding a worth. You're right, finding a worth for that champion where there's not any great restriction, and at the same time going. But this is the thing. You're right. Hit nail on the head. It's more for me, and maybe this is just my opinion. I find it more of a questing, but is in a kind of a monthly event type champion or a special challenge that doesn't restrict it. I don't know where that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as specific utility, unless you're running into, say, a pleasure to burn Spider-Man, it's hard to see where he's going to be the absolute best option for you. But yeah, so he's a general questing champion who needs a multi-fight ramp up. So then I'm comparing him to like a Morning Star, and who's got a similar ramp up, but I feel like has a higher payoff. Or if I'm looking at my Cosmic champions, like, okay, I've got Corvus, I've got Hyperion, I've got Venom. If I want to do multi-fight ramp up, do I like Red Goblin or Venom the Duck better? Well, I like Venom the Duck better because I feel like it's a faster ramp up and I have more control of it, and I don't have to worry about going backwards if I don't bring the right synergy team. So a Cosmic champion has to be really good these days to get my Cosmic T4CC, because that class is so stacked.
Yeah.
And I know some people say like, oh, the Heralds aren't that good. There hasn't been a good Cosmic champion out in like a year. And maybe that's true, but at the same time, the Cosmic class is just so deep.
Yeah, I think when I did the totals, because I recently did the totals. Oh, I can't remember the totals. I think we're up to like 30. It's either 34 or 36 Cosmics versus like 20 something on. It was like 27 Science, 28 or 29 Mystic, and similar thing. So they're already kind of like stacked high. So it's a crazy old time. I do think we're still fitting that narrative of story that Kabam's building something with heralds for something of a war coming or something to do with
it feels that way.
It feels like we're adding them very frequently for it to be too non-coincidental.
Right, like it's a regular release.
Yeah, like once are we going once a quarter?
See, that's once a quarter.
Yeah.
Yep. And that kind of leaves us open for something big and game-changing in December, which is usually when they like to do that. With the November, December seem to be the most hype story quest, event quests, right? Like that's when the big stuff happens. Like last year, we got Doom and Reed Richards in November, and we got Silver Surfer in December. We get the whole Galactus thing with the 5-year trailer. So they usually go big towards the end of the year.
And this may be where it leads into the launch of Marvel Realm and how the whole story comes together with that. Okay, this week we've also had not just a new champion, we've had more. Well, I don't say more scuff. We've had a little bit more scuff. It depends how you want to look at this. From Kabam's perspective, looking at arena changes, I don't know. Some people may say scuff. Some may say this is somewhat good. Infinite streaks seem to be a bit of a bone of contention. I don't know if Kabam plan to revisit them at all to say, look, this isn't really acceptable for our players. Our veteran players aren't able to continue on grinding past, say, about, 20 streak, as it just gets painful, even though it's not meant to be as painful. And you have to play too much rather than, what I like to do is watch a movie, watch a film, and then swipe, tap, not have to look quite so much, but it looks like I'm going to have to look a lot more.
Right.
Where do we start with talking about arena changes? Are we happy with them?
Oh, man. So I haven't done a good solid grind in the featured 5-star arena for months now. So I've been a little bit out of the loop. I've been staying in the lower arenas, just getting some milestones. As I often say, I like the 4-star basic arena. I don't have to worry about death squads and the infinite streaks. I just run my max 4 stars a few times, get the milestones I want to get, and don't worry about it. So yeah, but it seems like the real issue is in the featured arenas, particularly the 5-star arena. And this is rough because this was a pretty big change and a part of the roadmap people are very excited about, because we did get some stuff people really wanted, right? Like, say, the 3-star in the milestones. That was cool. And the increase from top 150 to top 300 in the 5-star featured arena for the featured champ. That's good. And we got the more aggressive AI that actually wants to throw specials, which we'd all been begging for. So all that stuff is good, but really what happened was the changes around the death matches and what they did to change that, and then the unintended side consequences of that. Like, I've seen a lot of people say, like they're trying to get people to quit and this and that, and it's like it's not that they try to hurt the players, but they did change the formula.
Yeah.
And that is where all the pain is coming from. Like, I don't know, some of these things, some of these matchups I'm seeing called death matches, I don't think personally are death matches, but they're definitely harder than what you're used to if you get the infinite streak normally. Because apparently what used to happen was, like, you'd build up the infinite streak, and that's where you could get the death matches, and we all had our strategies to, like, all right, I got to build my team like this on fight 10, and then this on fight 11, and this on fight 12, so we could avoid the death matches, right? And then once you got to whatever it was, 18 or 21 or wherever we think the exact cutoff was, things would get pretty easy, and you could watch Netflix and grind arena to your heart's content.
Yeah,
which is what a lot of arena grinders want, right? They kind of want it mindless, and now they got to think, because there's like, they're not getting like those 4x death matches, but they're getting like 2x death matches, death matches in quotes. But I think here's where the real problem is, right? Like, it's with the 6 stars that people haven't maybe leveled up, or maybe they're just weak 6 stars, right? Because we all have that team where it's like we're running arena and it's like 6-star Yellow Jacket, 6-star Agent Venom, 6-star Falcon, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm going to throw it in to get points. And you throw that team in, and right now you're getting a live team of 6-star rank 3s, right? Yeah. Against actual, you're not playing actual people, obviously, but you're playing a team that someone else put in, full of 6-star rank 3s. Well, no one's got, like, bad champs at 6-star rank 3, right? Like, the people that have 3 6-star rank 3s have Nick Fury and Doctor Doom, right? And, like, someone else that's going to be ridiculous, right? So maybe Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got your meme tier rank 1 6 stars versus like 6-star rank 3. So it's like it's double PI, so it fits the formula, but like you're really asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Because you've got meme tier champions versus the best of the best. And I see some people like, oh yeah, of course, like, if the opponent's got willpower on, like they've got these big health pools, they're healing up. It's like it's a disaster. So like if you really want that this like zone out experience in arena, you are not getting that right now, and you're understandably upset. So the good news is Kabam is listening to the feedback. There's been a lot of feedback on the forums and via the CCP server. So they are actively monitoring the situation, and if I had to guess, I would say things are not going to remain the way they are currently for very long.
That will be very positive, I think, to deal with this, and just the way that a lot of this is kind of being put in. Sometimes I do question whether or not Kabam kind of go, is this done with players' best intentions? It's a difficult one as well, because a lot of times like, should we benchmark this? Not benchmark. Should we bounce the idea off of the CCP? And sometimes it's like it's only when things go wrong that they kind of then, and it's then a case of like, look, we'll see what the community is saying, number one, and then we'll see what other people in the CCP are saying, number two. It's always, it's not, I wouldn't say it's ever funny. It's just very, and I wouldn't even
this is a lot harder because I really feel like you need the data from running it live.
Yeah.
Like this isn't as simple as the idea of something like, AQ tickets for mixed map alliances, where anyone reading that description instantly could see what was wrong with it from a player perspective. Whereas Kabam could say like, all right, this is the formula of how we're changing things, and we could go, okay, that sounds interesting. And then you get in there and you're like, oh no, we didn't think this through. So there's some stuff that is a lot harder to test. So I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I don't think they had any nefarious intentions to ruin anyone's arena grind. I think they did want to make it better, and they did some stuff to make it better, but then there was a nasty knock-on for a lot of people, so they do need to continue tweaking the formula for sure to make those people happy.
Yeah, and I'm just starting to see if there's any update from him on the matter, or from Kabam Mike on the matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be anything. There's been a lot of comments here, so our responses have been buried. Want to let you know, until we know that we are still looking into this, and we are committed to committed to making it better again. The information I gave before is just for context, so please don't take that as a sign that this is what we want for Arena. So there is acknowledgement there, and it looks like, as Dan said, that the that Kabam are looking into this. Hopefully, it's sorted out soon. How soon? Don't know.
I think they got to let this arena run. So as this podcast is going live, the arena that we're talking about should have just ended. So hopefully that 72-hour cycle will give them a solid amount of data to look at and make some changes ASAP.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good that Red Goblin isn't super hyped.
I thought
you imagine if this had happened during like the Apocalypse arena.
Oh God, yeah.
Because I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, like I wish we got the top 300 for Apocalypse. Like, well, I think maybe it's better that maybe it's better this didn't happen during Apocalypse's arena.
That's like a mini hell for that. Yeah. Oh dear. Right, we gotta move on now to a very hot topic. And that is dodgy units. Dodgy units, a bit of a wake-up call for a lot of players. See a lot of accounts with minus, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of units.
Rich, I'm just so confused because all the ads that I saw said this was 100% completely safe.
Oh, that's why.
Where's the truth in advertising?
Yeah,
from these dodgy unit merchants.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I could have covered it more in my video today. I lack skills has covered it complete. It's do you know what? It's a complete eye opener to the extent of because I didn't even know much about like the not altercations but the dodgy dealings. It's called dodgy dealings of some of our Spanish YouTubers and the claims made that they who are now in massive minuses of tens of thousands of units, how they then point the blame, pass the buck. Yeah, we'll go with that. Pass the buck then on to the person from Facebook. And you know, this is the thing about trust of a lot of it. There was claims that one person gave out information to another on the Facebook group, the community group, which had like 30,000 people. It was taken over by X person. X person decided to then put out this thing about cheap units, which we all know is on the dodge side of things. It's on the total dodgy side of things. And I remember, there's
a lot of sketchy stuff on MCOC Facebook.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said back in a previous video, like I've been around here in the community as well as you have, Dan, with and knowing about this stuff. Like, and I don't think like a mate of mine who I met up with post being banned from MCOC and ridiculed by the community, or mind like me saying his name. But so there was a YouTuber, MCOC YouTuber called Vex.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah. And exactly the same thing. Vex loaded it with fraudulent credit card wires, loaded up his account with those units, unit loading. It's been around for ages, guys. The reason I say this stuff is not that I just I want Kabam not to make any money. Is that no. You will get acted on. This is not a case of a big faceless company getting loads of money. This is a case of like some person, some poor old lady, some poor old bloke is somewhere in this world who's just had a fake credit card made in their name, and they've bought Google Play cards and iTunes cards, and they are now bearing the brunt of this. And the person who's then sold them on to whatever person then is getting in trouble as well. It's criminal. It's real. There's real crime being committed. Behind the scenes here, and it really doesn't matter whether you think that Kabam is overpricing items in game or not. That does not give you permission to to take advantage of these fraudulent activities. If you think it's not worth it, don't buy it, but don't use that as an excuse to try to take advantage of some of these workarounds, because there's really people getting hurt behind the scenes here. Yeah, and now people's accounts are I've got people in my community that went and used it. Not to say that I'm not going to out anybody. I just and the thing is, that's part of it. There is another part to it that players may have bought accounts which were maybe they assumed to be. If you've bought an account, just don't buy an account first and foremost. If you think that's going to like elevate you up because you bought it off of eBay, don't, because it could be like an account that's been offloaded. It could have been an account that had gone through that scheme, and now it's again the same problem, that account is now assigned to some dodgy dealings.
Right, there could be that, or someone could have. Someone could have bought a bunch of units on that account, got that account in good shape, sold it to you, and then immediately file a chargeback to get all their money back that was spent on that account. And then you have an account that has negative credits and is basically worthless.
Yeah.
At that point. So yeah, you just don't do it. Like, start an account, clear the content for yourself. Like, you could get 5 stars really, really fast now. Trust me. Ask anyone who has a baby account.
Yeah.
Now, like, starting an account in 2020, they make it pretty easy for you to catch up. Like, just do the work yourself, folks. Like, play your account, do your fights, clear content yourself. Like, be proud of your achievements.
Yeah.
And know that you did it and not someone else.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you spend 1 year like really well grinding, then you've got stuff like Summoner Appreciation, Kabam Leon, a good winter calendar, a good Christmas event. You know,
5-6 anniversary should be pretty neat.
Yeah. We probably won't have gifting. A gifting event this year, but if we, but we'll have something.
You've been talking about that a lot. Have they said anything official, or is that just? Yeah,
but it's like
it seems like it's much since everything that happened last year happened.
Yeah, and this is, and even like this plays into it, like why people have been getting banned with like unit loading, because then there was so much levels of high competition with that it brought this kind of like toxicity, even more so because you think, oh, Kabam, you just make tons of money. Well, turns out they didn't make upwards of close to £10,000 because of this unit loading thing. So there's already kind of like that competition is just toxic and horrible, that even the people involved that put hard-earned money into it would have probably gone, this year, no, we're not having that, we're not being screwed over again. Because of the way that they were bringing alliances were bringing in random people to, and again, I'm not going to name alliances, I'm not going to alliance shame, but you know who you are. You kind of like thought about the idea of fair competition, and you didn't give a damn about that. You brought in random alliances to your alliance, random people into your alliances that then offloaded loads of units, or units of spending in order to inflate your gifting score. So, why should Kabam roll this out? If they did, I would probably release several videos on why Kabam would be incredibly wrong. But I think they've got more sense this year not to run the event. But the point, in fact, is that Kabam will run some sort of event where you're spending money, or not spending money, but spending units, the same way greater gifting crystals are about.
That's the thing about gifting, right? Like, yes, there were shenanigans, and certainly some money was spent in nefarious ways that didn't go directly to Kabam. It seems pretty clear on that, right? Whether you've got like the arena bots coming in and just like buying a bunch of stuff while they're in the in the alliance, and then moving out immediately just to pad the score. But for like, once you get below like the people competing for the rank rewards in those alliances, like there's a lot of people that really like gifting and get a lot of good stuff from it, and are playing it fair and probably do spend some money on it. And we have to remember, Kabam's a business, so if you just like, you can't just walk into like a marketing meeting and be like, so we're not going to do this gifting thing next year. It's like, well, what were the numbers on it? It's like, well, we made a pile of money. It's like, do you have a plan to replace that pile of money? And then you go, well, no, we're just not going to take the pile of money. And be like, I'm going to need you to find me a new pile of money before I can okay that. So like you said, like, they're going to have to do something. I don't see from like a business perspective that they're just going to forego, the holiday bonuses, so to speak.
I think this was good strategy on their behalf. They've done this at a very crucial time. So the people that have been the ones that this in the last 12 months, Kabam have made inroads to sort out those that use bot accounts by attacking the way that we look at blue stacks, number one. So good job, Kabam, for noticing that and dealing with that. So that deals with one element of say fraudulent dealings and excessive dealings with Cyber Weekend and the gifting event. So maybe Kabam are gearing up for a gifting event return. But the second thing is this latest thing comes in 2 months before Cyber Weekend.
Yeah, so Cyber Weekend.
Yeah.
And remember the big change to the Alliance Treasury, that was all going after arena bots.
Yeah.
For the third-party resource deals.
So maybe I could be wrong, Dan. I could be wrong. It could be a case that Kabam is strategically doing this to then allow more of a let's eliminate the bad, and now let's say we'll bring back the gifting event under these terms that the bad people that have exploited in the past are no more.
That would be cool. I mean, I liked gifting for my level. I totally understand why people at the top felt burned by it, but it seems pretty clear if they're going to bring it back and it's going to be like these alliance-based rank rewards. If you leave your alliance, like that score has to go with you.
Yeah.
There's no way that they can do this without locked alliances.
That's what they'd have to do. You're right. That
cannot happen.
That's very good. That will be the assurances I think Kabam will need. Maybe I did jump the gun on that opinion because you're right. If Kabam can assure that the botters aren't with a system of bots have been targeted. Number two, that the way that people that are fraudulently loading accounts with fraudulent units have been dealt with. And the third thing being that alliances have had that alliance lock, which they have done in the past. So I think that it's possible for them to do that. Then I think you're right. You can push the button and say, yes, it's possible to do alliance, do the gifting event as long as we've got these things in place.
Yeah. If they can lock Alliance War season rewards for a 10-day period, surely there's going to be a way to lock these rewards as well.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. It's a good point to end on there. I've been sold on that. Well done, Dan.
You heard it, folks. RichTheMan says gifting is the best. Let's do it again.
Oh God, I don't feel comfortable yet to say that. Especially as I do feel sorry for the lads in Asgard and what they went through with theirs, because a lot of them are big spenders, very successful people in real life. Love Pep, love Maladar.
The only good thing that came out of that was Maladar's absolutely bonkers videos.
Yeah, of him was it like him in a cupboard or something? That
was so much fun. I enjoyed that tremendously.
Yeah, I've got to get back, Maladar. If you're listening, I've got to get back to you on Twitter. It's been one of these weeks where there's so much stuff I was meant to be doing, and I'm just like, I just completely forgot my brain's at. But this week I have been playing a little bit of Marvel Realm. Not so much for today. I lost my temper. Not lost my temper, but lost my cool with the game when it comes to matchmaking. So if you're watching on YouTube,
matchmaking's been a little rough since the update.
Yeah.
And the network issues seem to be back. I feel like every week we talk about it, and it's either, all right, so is this the smooth week with connections and matchmaking, or is it a bad week?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this last week has not been so great, and I have not made as much progress with my web warrior as I would like. But he is fun to play. Yeah. I really, really like him.
I'm getting interested with him, but I think the problem is I'm playing too many co-ops. Co-op rather than arena conquest, and that's my issue currently, is that when we go to play, I've got like a usual squad that we play with, we cannot get games. It even comes to the point where and shout out to Pranell, aka Prozo, who ends up sacrificing himself to build mine and squads teams battle points.
Yep.
And that's sad when somebody has to give up their time to kind of sacrifice themselves to you for your process of trying to get further. And it's like, that's the sucky side of things. Like, what's the time in the UK? About 4 p.m., which is something like, is that 9 a.m. for you or something?
I think you're 6 hours ahead.
6 hours ahead.
So 10 a.m. Yeah.
So that we're trying to get a game, and we're trying to matchmake, and we never matchmake, and it's becoming a big issue for kind of when I play and when I stream. So I might have to give up the time that I stream Marvel Realm and actually kind of maybe attach it to later on in the day when I do my MCOC and other game streams. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure once the game's worldwide, that won't be a problem. But right now, it's just, well, if the majority of the player base is in the Philippines and it's the middle of the night for them, well, who are you going to matchmake to?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's. I know they're looking into that to deal with it. I know that there's a lot of stuff still planned for. Was it 0.3.0?
3, yeah, that's the one that's supposed to be coming out this month. That should be the big one. That hopefully brings us Thor.
Yeah, that's something I think I don't know if I need it or want it just yet. I think because I'm working on so many other champions, I'd say with you, we're both working on Web Warriors at the same time.
Right.
I'm getting close to writing my guides, but I'm just being quite specific on this stuff because I'm not getting as many games. I can't record footage of strategy. Hang on a minute. What? So I've just read something. I missed out on something before that was announced. Kabam Vidius is. I tell you what, me and Vidius. I don't know, like if I was saying it's correct. I have these little back and forths. Like there was this thing because I said something in the Realm of Champions Discord. I assume it's a she. Then said, "Do you want to 1v1 me?" And I was like, oh okay. And then I've just seen like an announcement thing, and it's like she's saying, "I promise this isn't a call out at Rich," and it's like it didn't even at me there. And I'm like, what's that all about? It's the first time I've read this.
That's from a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Oh no, that is. Oh, no, that's what that's about. Yeah, okay. I've got to explain this a little bit just to put context in it. So myself and Vidius, like I atted. That's what that's about. Oh right, okay. Now that explains it. Okay, so myself and Vidius. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this for the YouTube thing, but I'll just kind of like explain what happened with the issue. So I pinged. Or kind of copied in Kabam KDR about an issue, or I kind of responded. That's it. Kabam KDR put something, and I responded back. And then Kabam Vidius says, "Don't at the dev team," and I was like, "Oh, sorry." And then I put these kind of like exclamation things going like, "Sorry, person I didn't copy in. I just want to say that." I appreciate what you're saying, and sorry exclamation mark person I should not be named but did tell me off, and I just continue that on. That's where that kind of happened. Sorry, it's just one of these things where I thought I'd just check on like something with Marvel Realm, and I was like, why have I been atted? What's this all about? It's like, yeah, this kind of like explains that. It's good to see Marvel Realm is getting a lot of kind of people involved in the Discord. It just will be the case of like when the game goes live that there'll be more people available to play. And I shouldn't have a problem with matchmaking. The same thing with yourself, Dan. Like when you come to play, we won't have an issue with matchmaking.
Looking forward to that. And they did drop that new gameplay trailer this week as well.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because you did a whole video about how there's some Easter eggs in there. It looks like Storm is getting a second weapon, and maybe some other things that are coming in, including synergy. So it seems like they're starting to build some depth to this game, which is pretty bare bones right now as far as the champions and the mechanics and that's available so far. They're starting small, they're adding to it.
Yeah.
So if that stuff's coming, that's a good step towards a global release.
Yeah, there's things like synergies. There's an advanced section to champions, and there was also the first time seeing epic gear. That was something that's new, because at the moment we have common, uncommon, rare, and that's it. So seeing, I think it was an Iron Man, which I missed out from the video. I did put it in the pinned comments. There's epic gear associated with it. And this I'm still like I'm back in this game. It is such a good game, and it is really enjoyable. It's just a case of, and I know people are going like, oh, we want it now. Oh, why don't you just put it out so all the test server can do it? It's like, well, number one, this is very different. This is not saying you're running exactly the same thing as Marvel Contest of Champions from a server perspective. This could be on a very small server, especially dealing with something so small as the Philippines and Brazil. So it's a case of like, if they don't have the load capacity for a larger switch on, then it's not going to be as vast just yet until they're ready to deliver. Also, there's fundamental issues that need to be addressed. They look to be developing a lot in the background, so I'm pretty happy with the way they're doing it. So all the mistakes, because that's the thing, there's a lot of mistakes with the game, they're getting right, especially with a battle point acquisition, which is like I'm finding an issue at the moment. Like if you lose one game in Marvel Realm and you say you've got a 700, I got my 700 Storm, Dan's got his 700 Storm, we kind of like go into a battle, we lose one battle, we lose 10 battle points. It will then take you, depending on your matchups, at least 10 battles to then rebuild it up if you face off against lower people than you. And if you go for a massive loss streak, it's like you could lose a lot of like your battle points. Not as a bad thing. I think it's more of a bad thing if you're looking to get those warrior crystals and build up to get that huge chunk of ISO that you get in order to like get gear better. I don't know. I find it a bit of an issue, but it's debatable with Kabam.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know people want the game, but it's just not ready yet.
Yeah,
and you only get one chance to launch a game.
Yeah.
So they're not going to rush it now. They've been working on it for years. They're getting close, but they're not just going to be like, just throw it live.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, anybody could say, "Oh, we want the game now," but you'll be the type of person that will say, "Oh, typical Kabam, breaks when it starts, new game. Oh, that's typical Kabam." It's like, well, look, for them, they're trying to make it safe as possible. That's why the same thing goes with Marvel Future Revolution. That's why when the same thing, people are going, "Why aren't you doing this global?" Well, they're just not ready. Games aren't ready until they're ready, unless you want them out brokered.
Yep.
If you do want the game, it is available. If you want to get it, you just need to change your Apple ID to a new one. Just create a brand new one from scratch. Sign out, go back in again, and then set up in the Philippines or Brazil. When you set up the Apple ID, you can download the APK if you're Android, or you can go through the purpose of getting a VPN. So there's ways and areas in order to get it. It's up to you. Do you want it now? Or do you want it when it launches? Am I going to have any advantage to you? Not really, because they're adding 2 more tiers, so I've still got to work hard to get up further, and it will take you about, I don't know, if you do a grind, I think it takes about, if you're constantly doing it, one champion up to 700 battle points, maybe 10 hours, but then there's like gear acquisition, gear training, gear understanding and stuff like that, but then that's something like that. But it's a skill-based game. It's fun.
Yeah, it's skill-based, and I was I was playing last night, and I had a couple of those like really nice skill moments where you're talking about where everything's clicking. It's like, okay, like there's a Sorcerer Supreme coming to me, and he launches that area of effect shock, but I dodge out of it, and then hit my special. So she's webbed in place, and then the storm on my team comes in, launches that special, and just sitting there taking all that damage, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of that team, then their Hulk has nobody to heal him. So then we can get the Hulk down, right? So it's kind of like that. that order of operations to figuring out the puzzles. Like, okay, like, do we take the tank out first, or do we take out the healer first? Like, what are we trying to do here? That I'm really starting to enjoy with the game.
Yeah. And I just hope that I can that the game goes out soon. I've got ideas. I'm just like thinking about when I pull the trigger for kind of like guides and stuff. There will be some ones I can definitely do, like how to get the game right the way through to other stuff. It just depends on like where people are with wants and desires for that kind of content, because we're still in the beta side of things. So there's information out. Kabam Omnipotent, one of the designers, is talking to people about the idea of I've got it on screen for anyone watching on YouTube, but he's talking about the idea of responding to Double Dash. No current plans for the existing Iron Legionnaire kits to have a Double Dash. Talking about the idea of custom games with friends. Unfortunately, we aren't currently working on anything like that, and are instead prioritizing our core gameplay at this time. Obviously, I cannot promise anything, but this is something I'd like to explore in the future. So that's good. Like, if anybody wants to like get an idea of like how personal this is, like there are Kabam representatives that are willing to talk about aspects of the game. So that's good. That, do we get that really with Kabam? Kind of on the forums. I don't know if this is something they want to put more in the line of Discord in the future, but I'd worry too much about MCOC in Discord based on the volume of people.
Right,
just,
it's so big.
Yeah, and like people, I think a lot more people are interested in using Discord than the forums. So this is more instant, where, not saying the forums aren't instant. It's just like, well, how long does a Kabam spending dealing with Discord and community stuff, rather than, you want to ping Gabriel Fazera on like champion design, and he's there like, oh, I really should be working, because like it's great. It's great talking to people, but people would complain that they weren't working more than they were answering stuff in the Discord. It's a bit of a double-edged sword with it, but.
Yeah,
it's good to know that they, in the start point of this game, are willing to just, communicate. I just would worry if this game blows up and is spending a lot of time on Discord chatting away. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah. But better turn off those pings.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I think that covers a lot of the stuff that's going down in Marvel Contest of Champions, and as well in Marvel Realm, especially as we push towards the future and hopefully the game launching at some point in the next month or two. Whether or not it be November, December, it is anyone's guess. Will it lie into an opening for a trailer thing with, as even Dan, you said about the idea of like, well, we're going into the 6th year, big reveal, big future. Someone's still going to open up the portal between here and from Marvel Contest Champions to Marvel Realm. So that's going to be the thing.
Do you think Doctor Strange has time to do that while he's busy pulling Tobey Maguire and what's his face, Andrew
Garfield
into the Spider-Verse?
Well, the thing is, it might do. This is the thing that
he's a busy dude.
Yeah, it's either going to go down two of many ways. Like the idea of the multiverse thing in that film. Well, I don't know if they're filming. Will Kabam delay the idea of somebody open up the portal? Possibly. Or is it going to be something between the apocalypses in a very strange thing, apart from like one existing, two existing, one creating...
Are we ready for two big Bacos? I don't know.
I don't think we are, but there would be something of an interesting, like, well, what does the apocalypse of... Now, that's the thing. Apocalypse could actually be the same one in Marvel Realm, but he travels between Marvel Realm and Marvel Contest of Champions, but he's been doing it in the background for many years. I don't know. That's kind of a very far out theory. I'll have to kind of like work that in a little bit and find out if there's any validity to talking about that. Or how the portal is created, how it's worked and stuff. I just don't know. It seems more logical to have Doctor Strange or the what is it? Not the immortal one. Oh, what am I?
Ancient one.
Ancient one. Thank you. The ancient one opening up a portal, but it just doesn't make sense for it. And is there a red herring with that big question mark between the Galactus and the Heralds and stuff like that?
Right.
Oh God.
What's Reed's up to? What's Mephisto up to?
Yeah,
there's some candidates for sure.
Yeah, I think I have to research that a bit more, kind of like come up with some theories. But it's all good. I think that, as I said, is a good time to end the podcast. Dan, what are you up to next week?
Oh, trying to get through Cavalier difficulty, trying to 100% variant 5.
Nice.
Please be cosmic on the T5cc.
Nice.
Please be cosmic.
That's exactly what I need as well. I think I need, if everything goes like to plan by the end of the month. If it doesn't go to plan, Cyber Weekend. That's it at the moment.
Kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah. But in any case, I don't know what I'm doing next week. I'm probably doing guides. I need to write a bit more over the weekend of what I'm going to be doing next week. I've got some ideas, but we'll have to see how they pan out. Lots of grind guides. They seem to do very well. So, might have to do that. In any case, you can catch us on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes podcast. Links are in the description, and as well with the playlist on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. And let me know in the comments section if you have watched from start to finish or listened to start to finish. And on YouTube, should I be visible for the remaining podcasts? Good day. Have a good one.